This is how my labor went down. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I will be giving you guys my labor and delivery story. I did do a poll on Instagram for another story time, and this is the one that was voted for the most, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys the story on that. If you guys have seen my 19 and pregnant story, go ahead and get your snacks, get your popcorn, get your drinks, your wine, whatever it is you want to do, and sit back and enjoy basically part 2 of this, because it's my labor and delivery. And if you have not watched it, go ahead and watch that and then come back and watch this video. For those of you who are watching for the first time, welcome to my channel. If you have not subscribed, make sure you hit that red subscribe button. Click that notification bell so you can get updated as to when I upload brand new videos. And make sure you go ahead and share this video, like it, comment, anything you want. So let's get started. This is how my labor went down.
It's about to go down.
So the night before, before all of that, my son's due date was December 9th. It was a Sunday, I remember. I had actually gotten contractions the week before. The week he was actually born, so the week before, it was like November 20 something, and I was with my mom and my sister-in-law, and we were making like the belly cast and stuff like that, like the cast that goes like from like your boobs to like your stomach. And we were making that, and then all of a sudden I started feeling like these little contractions and everything. Mind you, I wasn't thinking about Braxton Hicks or nothing like that. You know, I was already like, okay, my son's coming in 2 weeks. So, you know, I was like alert, I was ready to go, everything. So we went to the hospital. I remember I took off the cast, I took like the quickest shower of life, and we drove down to the hospital. I called my boyfriend and everything. I told him, like, the moment my water breaks, I'm gonna hit you up, all of this, everything. So the ones that went to the hospital were just me and my mom, if I'm not mistaken. And I remember we took my bag, everything. My sister-in-law stayed home because she had to go pick up my brother, all that stuff. So we went to the hospital. This was all the way in Kendall, because in Kendall I had the best doctor, the best service, the best attention, everything. So if you're in Miami and, you know, you're looking for like a hospital or like a, you know, gynecologist, OBGYN, whatever, for your pregnancy or just in general, I highly recommend Dr. Limousine in Baptist Hospital. Honestly, I don't know if he's still there, guys. This was back in 2012, so honestly I have no clue. But he was like the awesomest doctor. I was actually referred to him by one of my cousins. She's actually the daughter of my mom's best friend. So Raquel, shout out to you if you ever get to see this video. And she was like the supervisor of the nurses and stuff like that. And guys, when I say she had me hooked up, like top-notch service. And so I went that week, like November 20 something. We're still in that time. We went, you know, they had me hooked up. They had the baby hooked up on the, you know, the little monitor on the stomach, everything, checking his heartbeat, everything. I was there for like maybe 2 hours and nothing. They checked me. I wasn't dilating. The baby was good, everything. So they sent me on my way. Then December 1st, I remember I used to go to this church that I no longer go to. I no longer assist to this church because everybody there is fake as fuck. It's my opinion, so, you know, don't come at me or anything. It's my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. I can say whatever I want. So anyway, at that time when I was going there, there was like this person coming, like this famous person or whatever, coming to like speak or whatever and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, you know what, I'll go, I'll, you know, check it out, whatever. And it was already like what, like, I'm gonna say maybe like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I remember I was like not frustrated, but I was like uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable like the whole time until I finally got like a comfortable position. I think my leg was like on my boyfriend or something like that, my stomach like to his back, because that was like majority of the time the only way for me to go to sleep. Okay. Sorry guys, if you hear my son, he's actually in our bathroom right now. He's taking a bubble bath while I record, so yeah. That was the only way for me to like really sleep, was with my stomach to my boyfriend's back and like my leg sort of on him and stuff. So I knocked out, whatever. The next day, I woke up, guys, I remember the freaking time and everything. It's crazy. Like, I remember the time and everything. I wake up at 6:59 in the morning, and I was like, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna start my day, because I couldn't go back to sleep and anything like that. So I was like, all right, let me just get up. I went to the bathroom. I remember I had to pee like so freaking bad. And those of you that have had kids, you know that when you're about to go into labor, or like maybe days before, because I know some women days before. I actually have a friend that when she went into labor, like the days before, she got rid of like the little white stuff that is called the plug. And I got rid of mine that same day, but I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, okay, it's just a thing, maybe in these next few days or whatever, I'm going to start going to labor. So I went to the bathroom. I had to pee really freaking bad, guys. And I just felt something weird. And when I looked down, like, I just saw that it was like that little white thing. And TMI, whatever. And I told my mom. I went, I got up, washed my hands, everything, all that stuff. And I go to the room and I tell my mom, I'm like, Mom, can you call Raquel and ask her if, if I should like go to the hospital or something, or should I just wait? And she was like, like she got up fast as hell. She's like, ¿Qué te pasó? ¿Qué pasó? And I was like, no, it's I remember I was like, no, it's that, I got rid of like the little white thing and stuff like that. She immediately grabbed her phone and she called her, and like after like the third ring, she answered, and she was like, Raquel, hi, it's Alejandra, Cynthia, she's actually, she just actually got out of the bathroom and she got rid of like the little white stuff. She wants to know if like she should go to the hospital or anything. And then Raquel goes, she's like, oh, as long I something to like, either get her here as soon as possible if she starts feeling contractions. So then, as promised, 5 minutes after my mom hung up with her, I started feeling contractions, but they weren't as strong. They were maybe like the Braxton Hicks ones that aren't that strong. At least for me, they weren't that strong compared to when I I was going into labor. When they sped up, actually, like when they started getting stronger. So then I told my mom, I'm like, Mommy, I'm having contractions. Like, this hurts. Like my waist, like is starting to hurt. Like, to my backside, everything, it's starting to hurt. And my mom's like, okay, no, we're going to the hospital. And I remember I got into the shower and, I washed myself, I took a quick shower, everything. I got out and I went into the room and I got dressed, and my boyfriend was like, oh, good morning, babe, stuff like that. And I was like, babe, I'm having contractions. I'm going to the hospital. I lost the little, the little plug thing, and I'm having contractions. And, it was still like a week before he was supposed to come and stuff like that. So, I was just like, I'm just gonna go to get checked out, and then he was like, oh, you want me to come and everything? I was like, no. I'm like, just stay sleeping. I know you have to go to work, I don't want you to miss work just for like Braxton Hicks or whatever. Girl. After I started having those contractions, they started getting a little stronger, and my contractions were like, I want to say like maybe 7 minutes apart. And my mom went, she woke up my dad. My grandpa was already awake. So my grandpa got up. He was already in the shower, getting ready. And by the time I knew it, he was out, ready to go. My sister-in-law, she ran to the living room. I remember she almost busted her ass. And my brother, he came, everything. We climbed into my dad's car. He had a van at the time. And in the front seat, it was my mom. It was my dad driving, my mom. And then in the second row, it was my sister-in-law, my nephew, and my grandpa. And in the back, it was me, because it was more spacious for me. I was laying back and my brother was next to me. And so we pulled out the house, freaking tires screeching and everything. And, my boyfriend was at home, chilling and everything. And everybody was off that day, except him. So I was like, I was like kind of like in denial that I was gonna go into like labor and stuff like that. So I was like, babe, don't miss work for some Braxton Hicks. It's no big deal. Just everybody just wanted to come along, I had my bag, everything just in case. So then on the way to the hospital, my contractions started getting stronger. And I was like, fuck, I think today's the day. They started getting stronger, and then my dad hops on the Palmetto. If you live in Miami, you know what the freaking Palmetto is. And it's like the worst highway to get on and stuff like that. But it was the morning time. It was like 7:30 in the morning already. So it was empty, thankfully. We get there. Usually it's like it's like a 20-minute drive. We got there like in 10 to 15 minutes. Like, I dead ass am not making this up. Like, my dad is not the type to speed or anything. And we get there, and then it started raining. It started freaking raining. Let me tell you this. Keep this in mind, because it's a small little detail. It's an important small little detail you gotta pay attention to. So it starts like raining, not hard or anything, but it's just like drizzling. My dad's like asking where are we supposed to park and everything and stuff like that. So we didn't even know where the hell to go. We went to like the other side of the hospital first, which is where we normally used to go in to park the car to go to the obstetricianist. And we were like lost and everything, and then we had to go back around. Notice that we had to go into like the main street, and in freaking Kendall is packed 24/7. So then we had to like go around, and then we got to like the maternity section. My mom and my sister-in-law hop out of that damn car and start running inside. Remember when I said it was raining? Their asses ran inside, hopped on that damn elevator, and by the time they were on the elevator going up, my ass was still by the van, walking inside by myself. Okay? So I was by myself in this freaking rain, walking, hoping I wouldn't bust my ass, while my mom and my sister-in-law were nervous as fuck already on the elevator. Okay? I get inside, and luckily the elevator was literally right there. Like, this is the entrance, and like not even 2 steps, and the elevator is right there. And the elevator opens, and they're like, oh shit, we're so sorry. And I'm like, yo, who's the one going into labor, me or y'all? And then they started laughing, and then my mom came, she grabbed me by the arm. My sister-in-law was holding my bag. My mom came and grabbed me by the arm, and she helped me inside. They're like holding my belly and shit, walking like a freaking little old lady and shit. And then they go, and I get on the elevator with them. My contractions were already kicking my ass. So my mom, we get to the thing, and it's packed. It is freaking packed. And usually, if there's no bed available, you have to wait. So I was getting pissed off. Like, yo, I'm going into, like, I'm having these strong ass contractions, probably going into labor, and they're gonna make me wait. So then my mom goes up to the security guard that was there, and we had to show ID and everything. He's like, okay, you guys are gonna have to wait. And he sent in the information. Apparently they're so on top of their shit there that like in less than 5 minutes a nurse came out. She's like, are you Cynthia, Raquel's cousin? I'm like, yes. And then they're like, oh, your bed has been prepared. I was like, thank God. So then they take me inside, and mind you, it's already like 8 o'clock, because the going back and forth in the car, finding the maternity place and everything, it's already like 8 o'clock, 8:30. I would want to say, I don't know. We get inside, and my mom's walking. My sister-in-law had already waited, she was already waiting outside so that my dad and stuff could find her once they got in there. And my mom went inside with me. My bed was prepared, but as I'm walking, I started seeing like black spots. So I'm like already dizzy. I'm about to faint. I was sweating cold. I didn't feel good. Like, I felt like death. And I had to like walk to like the nurse's desk, which was like super long. And I had to like walk holding myself on there. The nurse saw me. My poor mom's like nervous and everything. So the nurse saw me. She came and she grabbed me and she helped me to the bed, which was literally like right there. So then they lay me on the bed. They hook up the monitors, like, to check the baby's heartbeat and all that stuff. And then as they're checking on things, you know, she's like, okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some stuff. You know, I guess like the little strip that checks to see if you're like going into labor or something, or for the plug. I don't remember, guys. This was 5 years ago, so I don't remember every single detail. But yeah, like I want to say like maybe 15-20 minutes later, my mom calls my boyfriend and she's like, hey, look, we're here. She's laying in the bed right now. She's having really strong contractions, so they're gonna check her right now. And he was like, okay, you know, I'm gonna go, you know, let me know when her water breaks and stuff. You know, I'll go right now. As soon as the nurse came back, my mom was still on the phone with my boyfriend, and the nurse went to check me with like the little strip, and I guess it like the little strip like it got messed up or something because it didn't come out correctly. Like it came out a different color, but she didn't do the test right. So she was gonna go in for a second time. The moment she put her hand back in my freaking vajayjay to check me, guys, my freaking water just like broke on her hand. And I remember like I felt like this relief, but at the same time I felt so bad because it's like my water broke on her hand. And I was like apologizing, almost crying. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I remember I was making like a face, like I was ready to start crying. And she was just laughing. She was like, no, sweetie, you're fine. She was like, your water just broke. You're definitely going into labor now. And I was like, fuck. So I go to her. I'm like, Ma, tell him my water just broke. I didn't even finish telling her when she was screaming, get over here. Her water broke. Hurry up. Dead ass, like I told you guys, you know, this freaking ride takes like 20 to 25 minutes, I want to say, you know, depending traffic, 30 minutes. My boyfriend got to the freaking hospital in 10 minutes. So my water broke and they had me there for a while, and like for like 5 minutes, I want to say, while they got me my wheelchair, they had already prepared a delivery room for me. This is the result of the, you know, when you got hookups. So they had my delivery room prepared, you know, it was like a big one, like a private one, everything. Well, I don't know if all delivery rooms are private. I'm sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, but whatever. It was really hard for me to get up. It was really hard for me. I remember my brother came in to see me and stuff like that while I was like, you know, before my water broke and stuff. So my brother had came in real quick, and then yeah, after my water broke, that they brought the wheelchair, all that stuff, it was time to take me to the delivery room. So it was really bad, but they had me do it on my own because they wanted me to walk a bit, but I was not having it. Like I was in pain. I remember my brother came and he gave me his hand, and as he was giving me his hand, I saw his arm and I felt really bad because I saw a bruise that wasn't there. On the way to the hospital, guys, I was fucking like punching the shit out of my brother's arm and like scratching him. And he was just taking it, bro. My brother was like, my brother was taking it like a G. He didn't tell me anything. And I saw him, and like, I remember I got like, I felt so bad. And I was like, I am so sorry. And he was like, yo, you're about to give birth to my freaking nephew that I don't care. So he helped me to the wheelchair. And like the whole time I was like holding his hand and everything as they were taking me to the living room. I felt so bad. And, they took me to the living room. It was prepped. It was nice. You know, I had like a little TV, a little bathroom, all this stuff. So then they helped me get on the bed. And then they checked me to see how far along I was dilated. I was dilated like 3 centimeters. It was all good. You know, they asked me if I wanted any pain medication. It was hurting me, but not to the point where I was screaming. Like, my mom, like even my mom was like, she was like, it doesn't hurt that bad. I'm like, it hurts really bad, yeah, but not to the point where, you know, I want to scream about it. And then you know, they left. I want to say like maybe an hour later, they came back. You know, they were very attentive, but they came back like an hour later. You know, I wasn't complaining of any pain. I didn't really need anything. I was good. They come back talking about the doctor wanted me to go to the bathroom to clean me out back there with some shit. And I was like, hell no. I signed the form, you know, not giving consent. 12-ish came, you know, my boyfriend was already there. He came in, he was rubbing my back. My sister-in-law was in the room. She was recording. My mom was in there and my brother was in there. And the ones that were waiting out there were my dad, my grandpa, and my sister-in-law's son, my nephew. And we were just in the room laughing. We were, just cracking jokes, talking. My mom was on the phone with my sister, like, hey, your sister's, about to give birth and stuff like that. We were just taking pictures and recording and stuff like that. And that day, the Patriots were playing against the Dolphins. And so we were watching the game and stuff like that. We were just hanging out. Come to, I want to say like 2 o'clock. I could be wrong. 2 o'clock comes and the pain was unbearable. Still, I wasn't screaming, but it was unbearable already. And I asked them for the epidural. So they come back with the epidural, the anesthesiologist, and they sit me up, and they put like that thing there, like that paper they put, and then that topical thing, I think it is. It's like orange or whatever, and then they injected me with this freaking long ass needle, and they injected me. I want to say a few minutes after they laid me down, everything started going numb, and I just felt pressure, so it felt good. Then 2:45, they come and they check me, and that's it. I was the 8 centimeters, 10 centimeters dilated. I was ready to push. The doctor came in. He said, he said hello to everybody. My brother left. Because thankfully he hasn't had one in 10 years, but my brother used to suffer from seizures, and any little like thing like that probably could have like made him have one. So he didn't want to have one, stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I understand. Like, I really wanted my brother there, but I understood. So I was like, okay, it's just my mom, my boyfriend, and my sister-in-law. So he left, and then they checked me. I was ready to push. The doctor stepped out for 1 second because a nurse came in screaming, saying, the baby's head is out, the baby's head is out. Looks like the lady that was like in the room next to me, like, she didn't feel like the baby was coming out. So she was basically, the baby was coming out by itself. So he had to go deliver that baby real quick. And literally, guys, all it took was 2 minutes. 2 minutes. The doctor checked them out. Everything was good. 2:48ish. I want to say 2:48ish. Literally, I want to say right before, after the doctor left, I started seeing black spots, and the machine started beeping like really fast, like the blood pressure machine with the pulse, everything. This was a really scary moment for me, and I suffer from anxiety, like really bad anxiety. I haven't had an attack, but I do get super anxious, and I have to find ways to calm myself down so I won't have the attack. Once I start feeling that anxious, I feel the heaviness on my arm, on my left arm. So I tried to keep it together, but I was scared. And all I remember is telling the nurse, I don't feel good. As soon as I said I don't feel good, that machine, everything on the machine started dropping. My oxygen, my pulse, my blood pressure, everything was dropping. She had to immediately put the mask on me and immediately call the anesthesiologist that, luckily he was right there, and they had to come in and they had to inject me with something. I don't know what the hell they injected me with, but that shit brought everything back up. My pulse, my heart rate had dropped to 14 beats per minute, and my blood pressure had dropped to like 60 over like 20 or something. And I was already seeing black spots. I was like, if y'all think I'm pale now, I was even more. And that was like the scariest moment. I just told the nurse, like, just take my baby out. Like, yo, I swear I thought I was gonna fucking die. I was certain that I was gonna die that day. And it was really scary. So they came, they injected me with something. I don't know, even like adrenaline shot. I don't know what the hell. And everything went back. My pulse went up to like 80s, 90s. And my blood pressure was stable. Oxygen was good after, being on the mask for a while. This is where it happened, guys. 2:50 p.m. in the afternoon, you guys. 2:50 p.m. They lay me on my back. The nurse helped me lay me on my back and everything. She lifted up my legs. With one leg, my sister-in-law had to hold it, and then the other one, my boyfriend had to hold it. I remember my boyfriend was on my left side, and my sister-in-law was on my right side, and my mom was like across next to the doctor on the phone with my sister. They lay me down, and the doctor's there sticking his hand in to check for contractions, and he's like, every time you feel pressure, push. So then I pushed like 2 times. On the third contraction, I was like, do I push? And he's there ignoring me, watching the damn football game as the freaking Patriots scored a damn touchdown while my boyfriend was watching too. And I'm like, excuse me, you need to freaking make this baby come out. And he started laughing, and he's like, girl, he ain't going nowhere. Hold on. And he started laughing, and I was like pissed. I was like laughing. I was pissed. Everything. So then comes the other contraction, and he's like, push. The last one I pushed, that's it. The baby came out in the whole push. With that whole push that I did, he took out my son's head. He took out the rest of my baby's body. Everything. My baby was out. I felt like my stomach, just like this big ass balloon, just had like popped. It just popped. And I felt like this relief. I was like, whew. And then they took him. He was a little purple, but they cleaned him out and stuff like that. My baby started crying. I was so happy. I started crying. My boyfriend was crying. My mom was crying. My sister-in-law was crying. Everybody was freaking crying. They just laid him on top of me. They didn't put anything. It was just like the blanket. Not even a blanket, actually. I was like freaking like naked and shit. Like my freaking teta was coming out. And they just like laid him on me. And then he dead ass looked at me like this, like, and I was like, hey. So then they take him, to clean him off, cut the umbilical cord, all that stuff. And my boyfriend cut the umbilical cord. And he tells me that he remembers like looking at the baby, and that he was just playing with him, like going like this to him, and that my son just dead ass goes like this to him too. Like after he stopped crying, he just opened his eyes wide at his daddy and everything. And it was the sweetest cry I've ever heard, the sweetest sound ever. I was so happy. I was like in relief. Everything. It was amazing. After they washed him, they showered him, all that stuff. My friend Nancy actually came. She was pregnant, and we were pregnant at the same time. And she came, and she started taking pictures of him and stuff like that. And she was showing me, because they had him like they had taken him like forever to go check him, to do this, to do that, to do here, to do there. And it wasn't until like an hour later that I saw my baby, you get me? And she was like showing me pictures and stuff. Like after they took him and everything, I'm like, oh my god, my baby's so cute, he's so cute. So then they finally bring him back. My grandpa came inside. My dad came inside. My nephew came inside. Like the whole family was there, like for just like 5 minutes, because then people had to leave and everything. Not too many people in one room. My grandpa held him. My dad held him. Everybody was giving him kisses, talking to him, all that stuff. I remember my boyfriend had called his mom, his grandma and everything. They were gonna come down, but they couldn't because circumstances, unfortunate circumstances at the time. But my boyfriend, was sending pictures to them, videos and stuff like that. Everybody was, like, oh my god, your baby's so cute. I remember once I was like settled in, I posted a picture on Facebook and everything. I had gotten like 100 and something likes from everybody, like 100 comments from everybody. Congratulations, he's cute, he's this, he's that, everything. And yeah, guys, I was super happy. Like once they got him out of me and everything, it was like such a relief. I was so happy, like I was ready to see him. So After like 3 hours, I want to say, still in the delivery room, they they took us into like our own private room. Again, perks of having the hookup. They took me to my own private room and stuff like that. And I remember there was like a bed, my bed, and then the baby's like little thing where you keep the baby. But I would put him to sleep with me, like I would put him on my arm and stuff like that. This sounds really, really horrible, guys, but like for 5 minutes after seeing, like being happy and everything in the bedroom, I just looked at my son, and I remember I told my mom, I was like, Mom, grab him. I don't want to hold him. I don't want nothing to do with him right now. For those 5 minutes, you guys, for those 5 minutes, I don't know what the hell I was thinking, what I was feeling. I don't know what the hell. But after that, my mom went to sleep and everything. After everything quieted down, after, everything was calm, everybody went home, all that stuff. My mom stayed with me. And I remember I just grabbed my baby out of like the little bed they had him in next to me, and I was like bawling. I was crying my ass off, asking him to forgive me, that I was sorry, kissing him, everything. That that mommy was sorry, like like I was just stupid to like feel like that for those 5 minutes and everything. Like I didn't want anything to do with my own child, and but yeah, like luckily he was healthy. He was 8 pounds and 13 ounces and 21 inches long, born on a Sunday, December 2nd at 2:51 p.m. So it was the happiest day of my life, you guys. I was really happy that he had finally got here and all that stuff. And yeah, like the next 3 days at the hospital were awesome. They came in the next day to take pictures of him. I was freaking like munching out because I was able to get like free food and everything. So I was able to get like burgers, I was able to get pizza, sandwiches, dessert, everything. Like that hospital, again, like the perks of having the hookup, I was freaking eating good, and baby was eating good because I was breastfeeding him until like 3 months that I wasn't giving more. Nothing more was coming out. But yeah, that's my labor and delivery story, you guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think. If you're watching this and you're a mommy, I would love to know your delivery and labor story. Let me know down below. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.